I am about to build 16 trolleys, and I'm gonna use this popple plywood. Really like this finish. It's bright, smooth, should be suitable for building furniture. It's for my upstairs storage room. I have some material here, remaining parts from the old furniture I had upstairs. Some of it is this pine plywood, so I'll use this where it's not that visible. I also have some MDF and some chipboard. It looks like it's real wood, but it's just beech wood veneer. So the idea is to use the popple, the new plywood, at the front part of the storage system to make it look new and nice, and then use the old material at the rear inner part where nobody's gonna see it anyway. Save me some cost, and it's all about facade, isn't it? You know, this could have been a pretty straightforward build. It's more or less 16 boxes, open boxes with wheels underneath. But of course, I'm gonna complicate the project. I usually do that. You know, this is just my hobby. But if I was to start a company and do this for a living, I would probably have to call the company Complicated Productions and have a really complicated logo. And I would have my own webpage, complicated.productions. That would be nice. Probably never gonna happen.
And as dangerous as it is, we couldn't wait for the fun. Here comes the complications, and now we're slowly fading. I know what's on your mind, but now it's time to move on.
The pieces for the first box is cut to size. I decided to use quite thin plywood, 6 millimeters for the side, for two reasons. Keeping the cost down, thinner material is cheaper than thicker material. I'm using 12 millimeters for the more rigid parts, and also not adding too much weight to my upstairs storage room. So I think that is a good solution. The challenge is then to put on this thin material. It's a bit limited how to attach it, but what would make sense here now is, of course, to put on the side panel like this. Since the bottom and the front and the rear here is thicker, I can now glue it on and nail it on. So yeah, that would be the best and easiest solution. I'm not gonna do that. I found a way to complicate it, but I think that is gonna be better.
Here comes the complications, and now we're slowly fading. I know what's on your mind, but now it's time to move on.
This was actually not that difficult. I just made a groove here on the bottom plate where I want to attach the side panels. Goes in here. Just a bit of extra work. And why is this such a smart solution? Well, I'm not sure if it's that smart on this one, but you will see later on why it's smart. What I have decided on is to use this glue. It's called PU glue, the professionals call it, I think. And it's supposed to be very strong, and it's expanding. I've done some tests here. You can see this piece. So I'm gonna hold this Okay, it's actually not the glue that was coming apart here. It was the plywood that came apart in one of the layers. So the glue is at least stronger than the plywood. So that should be good enough. And especially now that I have made this groove here, I think that's a good thing for this thin plywood. It will have grip around the edge to hold it really tight. I've been told that this glue is very messy. You don't want to get this on your hands, so of course I'm wearing gloves, and I also protected my tabletop here with some plastic. It's also recommended to put on a tiny bit of water on one surface and glue on the other surface.
Darling, please forgive me if I stare a little more.
I'll use my nail gun here to secure everything. I just don't have enough clamps to hold all these pieces, but I can use it here and there when needed.
Please don't be afraid of all the things that could go wrong. We can take our time and we may change our mind. But I can tell a good thing when a good thing comes along.
The first box is made, and then it's just to put on the wheels. I took off my gloves a bit too soon, but I'll try to turn this around. Yes, I have done my preparations, so I bought a lot of wheels, and I will be using two types of wheels. I have these small swivel wheels that can rotate both ways, and fixed wheels that goes only in one direction. Unfortunately, they are not the same size. A bit irritating, but this was what I could find. The swivel wheels are 3 millimeters taller. So I just 3D printed a bunch of adapters so I can clip on here, and this is now 3 millimeters extra. Then these will have the exact same height. You know, maybe 3 millimeters wouldn't have mattered that much because one of the wheels is going to be in one end, this other in that end, but you know, this trolley is not gonna have swivel wheels. It's gonna have just 4 wheels. I also bought some screws. It haven't been that complicated so far, has it? I'm sure it will come soon, the complications.
I can't take another night without you by my side. Please come home as quickly as you can. And if we settle down, we don't have to settle down. Please don't be afraid of all the things that could go wrong. We could take our time, we may change our mind. But I can tell a good thing when a good thing comes along.
Time to test the first trolley. If you couldn't guess, this is my upstairs storage room. This is the 5th video I'm making. If you haven't seen the previous videos, maybe you could take a look. When I started out, this was a complete mess. Now it's all empty. Time to start to fill it up as soon as I have built my trolleys. But is this a solution that works? Let's see. This is actually the first time I'm testing it. Yeah, it seems to work out pretty nice. And now you can probably see the reason for this angled edge here at the end. It's to fit exactly under my sloped ceiling. But as you can see, I have room for one more trolley here. And I've already prepared one downstairs, almost, except for the facade. So this is the inner trolley, or the rear trolley, and then I will have a front trolley. It's a bit different than this one. It's gonna look a bit better, and then maybe it makes sense why I made this cut out. I prepared one, just have the final step to do. As you can see, I made the exact same box now, except for this angled edge here. So far, the only thing missing is the front piece. I have made a groove around the front. This one is 12 millimeter, this one is 6. So the front will look nice, I think. Of course, I messed up. My blade is only 6 millimeters, so I have to make 2 cuts. And I, of course, managed to make too much of a distance, so I'll try to add a bit extra glue, see if that helps.
Good thing when a good thing comes along.
Here you can see I've put on the swivel wheels on the front part of the front trolley, and the reason for that is it will make it much easier to navigate it into its location. And hopefully this now, yeah, it goes almost flush, a bit further in than these stands. I don't really need to say this. You and me, we understand the reason for this setup, but I know others don't really understand it. So I need to explain this. Because now I have one front trolley, I can turn this away, and then I get access to the inner trolley. Someone would say, why not just have one long, continuously long trolley? Then I could fit longer items into them as well. But of course that won't work with it, because I will have a wall here, or the next set of furniture, so I'm not able to get it any further than this, and it will stop here. And then I won't get access to the stuff at the rear. So of course I need to split it into 2 trolleys, and then I need to have some kind of connector here, some kind of trailer hitch. At least that was my original plan. And I have a 3D printer, so I 3D printed this. And I thought that was a genius, easy solution. So I could just snap it into position here, and then I can just pull it out. But it doesn't work. You know why? Look at this. That's because of the design here. I need this axle to be further down. I figured out that immediately after I made it, so this one works. Except it was a bit small, so I decided to make a third prototype, a bit more beefy. So this one would just grip, and I can pull it out. But this is not the optimal solution. The reason for it is I will normally not have the trolleys connected. So my regular usage is to only open this one and leave the inner one. That's for long time storage. Stuff I don't want to access that often. Put that on the inner trolley and then I can just access this one. So I would need to open this. I will have this, something like this, put there. And then I can snap this over. And then I will need to pull it in again to connect to the inner one and then pull it out again. So it will be back and forth a couple of times to get the inner one. And if both of them are quite heavy, then it will be twice as heavy to pull out both of them. So, and also having this here blocks me to using this space. And if I'm unlucky and I put something on the inner trolley, maybe this don't grip. So I decided to not go for this solution. My next idea was to build some kind of hitch hook underneath the trolleys instead. I have 4 centimeters of clearance under the box, so I have room to add some kind of mechanism under here. I thought about putting on a hook at the rear of the front trolley, connected to a wire so I could operate it from the front of the trolley. I spent quite some time designing it using my 3D modeling software, but I found some problem with this design as well. I would have had to add some kind of knob here at the front of the trolley, and I don't really want that. I have ordered 80 handles from JLC MC, so I will have the same front and the same handles on all these fronts. Also on the drawers I plan to build above these trolleys. And I would still have the same problem that I would use the front trolley to pull out the inner trolley. So if they are both heavy, yeah, you got it. And then I started to think about maybe just adding a small button or even a remote control and have a servo or a motor to connect and disconnect the trolleys, and then they can drive out by themselves. That could have been quite a fun and interesting project. But then suddenly, just overnight, and I just had an epiphany. I knew exactly what to do. It was just much more genius than any other solution I had thought about. And I already 3D printed all the parts, haven't even tested it. So this will be the first install and the first test. And I'm just 100% this is gonna work, and it's the best solution whatsoever.
Here comes the complications, and now we're slowly fading. In time we'll meet again, so please just let me go. Would you like to come along? Just as afraid to know that you're home, just like you did before. Honey, there is nothing wrong. Change your fears in the right direction. Here comes the complications, and now we're slowly fading. I know what's on your mind, but now it's time to give back. I'd love to fight.
And done. And it wasn't complicated at all, was it? The only thing that was complicated was to not make it complicated, finding smart solutions. Let's try it out. Just pretend now that I have all my trolleys and all my drawers installed. And now I want to get into the inner trolley here. I don't know. Can it be anything better than this? and then put it back. Easy peasy. I think this gotta be the best solution. Then it's just to build 14 more of those. If you want to see how that goes, stay tuned.